Social Development. Does she agree with the Alternative Welfare Working Group that welfare reform should be focused on, quote, the relentless pursuit of well-being, unquote?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Speaker, that is a very idealistic goal. This government takes a more pragmatic view, preferring to concentrate on an unrelenting focus to work. I do note that the member had her policies written down in a song, The 12 Days of Christmas. I hope the House gets an opportunity to hear some of that today.
Catherine Delahunty.
Mr Speaker, I'm sorry to disappoint. Question 1. Will she commit to meeting the members of the Alternative Welfare Working Group to discuss their findings, and if so, when?
The Honourable Paula
Mr
Bennett.
Speaker, I see them as submitters to the Welfare Working Group. They've got an opportunity to submit to them. I think that's the right process for it to go through, and I look forward to recommendations coming from the Welfare Working Group.
Catherine Delahunty.
Does she agree with the Alternative Welfare Working Group that the current emphasis on paid work is too narrow and treats caring for children as inferior, secondary and unimportant?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, I think that we all agree that children are at the centre of what this government sees as social development and social policy, and hence when we talk about child poverty and those people that are on benefits for long periods of times, it is children that are most disadvantaged. Our focus is on getting them into work, giving them the skills to get there and helping them in any way we can in that respect.
Catherine Delahunty.
Does the government accept that raising children is work?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, it can be hard work at times, it can also be incredibly pleasurable, and it can also be something that most people aspire to and enjoy doing, and I hope that her co-leader enjoys his experience in the next few months as well.
Catherine Delahunty.
Why should single mothers be required to work in minimum wage jobs instead of caring for their children when middle-class mothers can choose to stay at home?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Speaker, of partnered women, 68% are actually in paid work at this time. So of partnered women, 68%, sole parents it is 52% approximately that are in paid work. So I don't actually discern between sole parents or those that are in partnerships. Some mothers choose to work, some mothers don't, and that is a matter for those that are in partners or not.
Point of order, Mr.
Order,
Speaker.
Catherine Delahunty.
My question was, why should single mothers be required to work?
Well, order. I think the minister responded. I mean, it wasn't perhaps exactly the answer that the member expected, but I think the answer was a reasonable answer to the question asked, because the minister explained the situation where partnered women are working rather more than women who are not partnered, and I think it was a reasonably interesting answer to the question. Catherine Delahunty.
Does the government, does she agree that accessing education while caring for children is a good way for parents on the DPB to prepare to move into work? And if so, will she consider reintroducing a form of training incentive allowance?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, there is a extra assistance for those that are on the DPB and in study at the moment. There's an extra $500 loan that they can take that people that are not on the DPB can. There is much assistance for those people now. Certainly at this time the government feels that that is enough, but we look forward to seeing the recommendations that come from the Welfare Working Group, and as such we will not be preempting them.
Catherine Delahunty.
Supplementary. Should every child have access to the essentials this Christmas, regardless of whether their parents rely on a benefit?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, that is certainly what New Zealand stands for, and certainly what this government stands for as well, is that those children should be cared for and looked after, and I believe that our policies and what we put in place to support them does that.
Question number 8, the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta.